More shocks to come. After all that's happened, I don't know if I dare enter his stall. Karen stood outside Adoni's stall, carrying a full hay net in her arms. She looked at Adoni with an uncertain expression on her face. The beautiful horse regarded her levelly. His velvety dark eyes revealed nothing but affection. "He seems pretty docile now," Lisa said, though she was dubious. "The problem is, we don't know if he'll suddenly change and become dangerous again. What if he attacks us?" They decided to open the door and then push the hay net through the opening. Quickly they tied the net to the wall bars. They were glad that the stall contained an automatic water tank, so they didn't have to worry about bringing Adoni water. While Adoni nibbled at his hay contentedly, the girls went outside and sat on a bench facing the sun. Karen ran her fingers through her hair. "I'm totally beat," she said. "What a horrible day this has been." Lisa nodded and closed her eyes. In her mind she could still see Marc's white face strained in excruciating pain. "This is the last time I'll ride anywhere without my cell phone," she thought to herself. "Had I brought it, we could have called for help the minute we found Marc." As it was, Karen rode as fast as she could to the nearest house and called from there. Lisa had waited with Marc, feeling totally helpless. She was extremely frightened. What if Marc was more severely injured than they thought? What if he died? But Marc did not die. An emergency helicopter had landed on a field nearby, and after a brief examination he was taken to the local hospital. The paramedic on call had told Lisa that Marc was not seriously injured, just a broken leg. "All of this is my fault," Lisa thought, blaming herself for finding the jar. "If only I hadn't found that stupid jar. If only I hadn't broken it." Lisa was jerked back to the present by a voice speaking in her left ear. It was Suzanne, Marc's wife. Lisa had been so completely lost in her thoughts that she was unaware of Suzanne's presence. "Oh, I'm so glad you're still here," Suzanne said, out of breath. Her face was red and she looked like she'd been crying. "Could you please look after the twins for an hour or two? I called my mom and she'll be here as soon as she can, but I want to go to the hospital now to see with my own eyes that Marc is okay." "Sure." Karen and Lisa perked up. "You just go ahead. Don't worry about a thing. You want us to feed them?" Suzanne shook her head. "I just fed them, so they should be okay for the next couple of hours, and by then my mom will be here. They're sleeping in their baby carriage now. I put the carriage on the porch. With a bit of luck, they'll sleep for at least 1 more hour, so all you have to do is keep an eye on them and hold them if they start crying." Suzanne hurried to her car. A moment later she sped down the road, leaving a cloud of dust. The girls started up towards the house to check on the twins. The huge twin baby carriage was placed by the wall in the shade. They peeked inside. Both twins were sound asleep. Karen and Lisa tiptoed around the corner and settled on the 2 lounge chairs there. Here they could enjoy the sun and still hear the twins if they woke up and started crying. "Poor Suzanne," Karen said, her voice low. It must have been a terrible shock to her when Adoni came galloping into the yard with an empty saddle. Luckily, one of the handymen doing repair work on the stable had been in the yard just then. He was an experienced horseman, so he was able to help Suzanne calm the raging horse and get him safely settled in his stall. Lisa nodded. Everything ended well this time. But Marc may not be so lucky the next time. "Do you really think there'll be a next time?" Karen said, shocked by the certainty of Lisa's tone. "Yes, I do. I don't think the evil spirit will be satisfied before it has succeeded in getting Marc out of the way. I wish there was something we could do, but I don't know what." Lisa threw up her hands in a helpless gesture and closed her eyes again. The sun was wonderfully warm, and the sound of bees buzzing in the flower bed was calming. Lisa felt her eyelids grow heavy. She was drifting off into sleep, but something stirred her. Were the twins crying? No, everything was quiet. She settled back on the lounge chair again, but couldn't relax. Something was wrong. Somewhere, nearby, She sensed the presence of evil. But where? Adani was safely locked in his stall, so he couldn't be the reason for this growing sense of danger. Shivering, she glanced around her. On the lounge chair next to her, Karen was sleeping peacefully. And apart from Karen and the twins, there was Buster. Buster was the neighbor's cat. He liked to pop in from time to time, hoping for a snack. Now he crept onto the porch, his tail trailing behind him like a thick brush. The black and white tomcat was so fat the porch literally shook under his weight. "Come to me, kitty kitty, nice kitty," Lisa said softly. She loved cats. But Buster, who normally snuggled up to anyone willing to pet him, just threw her a cold look and disappeared around the corner of the house. Lisa shrugged and tried once again to relax. However, the feeling of danger was still with her. In fact, it had grown stronger. She had to do something, or she knew terrible things would happen. But what? There was nobody else here, except the fat cat and the twins. Struck by a sudden, terrible suspicion, Lisa rose so quickly that she felt a wave of dizziness. She thought they were all safe so long as Adani was out of the way, but if the evil spirit could overpower a horse, maybe it could do the same to a cat. And just around the corner the twins were sleeping, tiny and helpless. Lisa suddenly remembered hearing about cats that had settled to sleep on a baby's face, ending up suffocating the baby. What if... She sprinted around the corner and stopped short. Buster, who had just jumped into the baby carriage, also stopped. Lisa was startled by the savage look in the cat's eyes. They glowed at her viciously. This wasn't Buster. Someone else was looking at her through the eyes of the huge cat. And this evil creature was planning to hurt the helpless babies. She was sure of that. In a flash, she dove for the baby carriage, grabbed Buster, and flung him out of the carriage with such force that he rolled across the porch. He got on his feet and bared his teeth at her, hissing. Lisa felt her heart thump in her chest. Was he going to attack her? It certainly seemed that way. "Come on, you big evil brute," she said through clenched teeth. "You can bite and scratch me as much as you like, but I won't let you near the twins, do you hear me?" The big cat spat in fury. His claws stretched out and he arched his back, ready to spring. The thought of his razor-sharp claws made Lisa cringe. What on earth is going on here? Startled, Lisa turned her head. Karen was standing at the corner of the house, gazing from Lisa to Buster, looking completely confused. The twins," Lisa stuttered. "Buster was in their carriage. I think he wanted to kill them. Only it wasn't Buster, not really." It seemed like the evil spirit that had invaded poor Buster didn't stand a chance against both Karen and Lisa. As if someone had turned off a switch, it was gone. Buster became his old, good-natured self again. He meowed plaintively, withdrawing his claws into his paws, a dazed look in his eyes, like he was wondering what he was doing there on the porch. Lisa's legs refused to support her. She slid to the porch floor and rested her back against the wall. Buster pranced up to her. He settled in her lap and purred contentedly, oblivious of the disaster he almost caused. Like a creature of habit, Lisa began to stroke his silky fur. Her eyes gazed into space, and her entire body shook from the horrifying experience. In the baby carriage, the twins slept on peacefully. That annoying, nosy girl, she ruined everything. Success was so close. Those helpless little creatures were lying there, unprotected. It would have been so easy. The fat, stupid cat was the perfect tool. But I will succeed. I have not waited this long just to be cheated out of my prey. The family must be destroyed. Totally and mercilessly.